Hello, everyone. Welcome to Avaya University and our Overcoming Chronic Pain curriculum. I'm Andy Anderson. My partner, Ike Allen, and I are co-mentors and co-owners of Avaya, and thank you so much for joining us. In this next class, we are talking with fellow teacher Dr. Darren Weissman. Dr. Darren is a chiropractic holistic physician and developer of the LifeLine Technique, as well as a best-selling author and many, many other things. Dr. Darren will be talking with us about how your body speaks your mind. Some of the key things you're going to learn about are ultimately, what is this mind-body connection? How does the mind lead to things like chronic pain? And I just want to say, Darren is an amazing, amazing teacher. He's an amazing healer, and you are going to feel the love and passion for what he does exude out of this class. It was just absolutely just amazing. So I can't wait for you to experience it. He talks a lot about how the body is a reflection of the mind, and how specifically dives a lot into the subconscious mind, right? This is the programmed mind. This is the part of your mind that gets triggered from things in your childhood. Maybe you experienced childhood trauma. Maybe you had bad things happen to you. So many of us have. So the subconscious mind is strongly, strongly tied into your physical body and your physical pain. And he talks about the mind being the greatest tool and or the greatest tormentor. So it is both sides here. It's the power of and, as my partner likes to say, my partner Ike Allen. So, right, it's the power of and. The mind is an amazing, amazing tool that we can create our life with. And at the same time, it can be a great tormentor and cause all sorts of chaos in our life. So the ultimate goal is to learn to bridge the gap between the body and the mind. And Darren talks a lot about this really beautiful process that he calls the LifeLine Technique to creating a relationship with the subconscious mind. And one of my favorite things about it is it's a very loving approach. It is a very loving approach to us being human and the challenges of being human and the challenges of creating that relationship with our subconscious mind. So I think you're really going to love it. And now, without further ado, for our fellow teacher, Darren Weissman, please enjoy. Thank you so much for being here with us, Dr. Darren.
It is a pleasure, Andy. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I'm super excited to dive in. I've known about you and your work for a number of years, and I know you are an expert in this field. So let's dive right into the mind. How does the mind lead to chronic pain?
Well, it's a great question. The essence of the mind is everything comes from it. So whether it be chronic pain or overflowing joy, whether it be living our dreams or being caught in a repetitive nightmare, everything comes from the mind. So when it comes to chronic pain, the nature of the body is a reflection of the mind. What that means is that every thought that we think in any given moment, and we think over 70,000 thoughts a day, becomes a feeling in our body. There's aspects of our nervous system that automatically mirror, we call mirror neurons, mirror the frequency or the vibration of the images, pictures that show up in our mind. Now, like right now, I can think about a blue balloon, or a pink elephant, and that feels good. But in any and every given moment, thoughts and images are triggered in our mind and create particular feelings that don't feel so good. Mm-hmm. Now, the nature of the mind is most of it's invisible. Most of it is below consciousness, therefore called subconscious, like a submarine. Mm-hmm. And the interesting component of the subconscious mind is it's the program mind. And what that means is that especially during really important times in our development, conception to 7 years of age, the subconscious mind is like wet cement. It's very impressionable. Mm-hmm. So the moment of conception, even though like, hey, do you remember that? No. All the way through up until 7, every thought, every feeling, every word spoken to oneself, to another person, is imprinted, is conditioned into our subconscious mind. And this is a survival type of process that occurs that enables us to learn adaptive skills so that we can evolve in life. And the challenge with this is that the people teaching us these skills of adaptation and survival oftentimes aren't equipped with the knowledge on how to do this in the most effective, loving, expansive, connective way. Usually it's driven by fear-based patterns for their own. Our mother and our father, our families, and the culture that we're a part of, it is what it is. And we as human beings, like right now, you and I, and all the incredible listeners that are really curious and open, we're in this like, wow, I want to learn more about myself. I'm eager to grow from the struggling experiences of our life. Oftentimes people they just think life happens and, we just go through this process. So long story short, here we are, and I'm going into my 52nd year, and I get triggered by a blue balloon. It seems like that's benign, but there happened to be a blue balloon when I was 4 years of age in an environment where, mom and dad were going through really hard times. And there was a lot of fighting and insecurity and fear. I don't really remember what exactly what was going on, but all this information gets downloaded into the nervous system. When we don't have the ability to process a moment or a string of moments, when we don't have the ability to press save and really integrate and grow from a moment, the subconscious mind, what it does is it puts things like on layaway. It puts things on hold, like, hey, you can't purchase this yet, but at some point you're going to have the money to actually purchase this. At some point you'll be able to process this. So the subconscious mind, here I am at 52, I get triggered by this blue color or this sound or this smell or this taste or this feeling, and my body reacts. Here I am, almost 52. My body reacts as if I'm still 4 in this environment that is really volatile. Mm-hmm. And nothing outside of me is actually freaky or putting me in danger, but it's a blue balloon. And it's as subtle and extreme as that. And now my heart's beating in this way. Now my muscles, rather than being, hey, just chilling, is on edge. I'm ready to go. Why am I ready to go? What's going on in this? Now my eyes are dilated. My blood sugar is raised. All these things are firing and wiring as if I'm a 4-year-old little boy, and therefore, instead of adapting to the present moment where I'm able to flow and pivot and be in the zone of myself here and now, I'm in this reactive lens and filter and gravity of there and then. I am living off of this program that hijacks my heart. It makes it beat in a particular way that then sends signals to my brain. My brain gets these signals. It produces chemicals of these emotional experiences. They're called neuropeptides, molecules of emotion. And these chemicals course through my blood in my body. These chemicals of the 4-year-old bind to the cells, the trillions of cells in my body, lock and key. And it sends signals all the way into the part of the cell called the nucleus where the DNA is, and it switches on or it switches off certain genetic patterns. And now here I am, and I've got this inflammatory process. Here I am, I've got this digestive process. Here I am, I've got this hormonal, cardiovascular, immunological process that's going on. I'm in pain. What's going on? A blue balloon that triggered me as if I was still 4 years of age. It's the mind. So the mind is amazing. It's incredible. It's the greatest tool, or it's insane. It's the greatest tormentor. And, viewing these, being able to understand, like, oh, my mind, I don't have a choice with it, gets triggered, I react, my heart gets hijacked, signals to the brain, feeling it in the body, genetic switches, it's called epigenetic patterns, get triggered. And now I am in this biological, what would be called maladaptive stress reaction, which leads to chronic pain. So many people take pills. So many people keep themselves busy, numb themselves out, do different things just the best we can. No one wants to be in pain. Yet when we learn that the body is a reflection of the mind and that there's an actual way that you can bridge the gap and connect to the mind and lead it, guide it, support it, nurture it, nourish it, love it, that we can make direct change on a mind, subconscious mind level, and therefore influence the fullest potential of the body, which happens to be the body's designed to heal, regenerate, and be whole. But there's a process to this.
So let's talk about that. Well, how do we bridge the gap? How does someone, obviously people watching right now are dealing with some kind of pain, whether that's an injury, an old injury, something that's plagued them for years, or maybe they have an autoimmune condition, or any number of things. So how do they start to bridge this gap?
Yeah. And that's the thing that is so important, because knowledge, like just you and I talking about this, it's exciting. It's awesome. There's hope, but it's not enough.
Right.
Not awareness that this is going on will not change it. Like, hey, I know that my brain has the ability to produce endorphins and enkephalins, natural painkillers. So here I am, I've got a migraine headache that's happening, and all right, endorphins and enkephalins, turn on.
Right.
Oh, why didn't it happen? Why didn't it happen? Because there's a process in creating a relationship with the subconscious mind. And many people, now more than ever, people are not only open to it, but they're curious about it, and they desire it. There's a real way to create a relationship with this invisible part of ourselves. I like to call it dancing with an invisible partner. How do you dance with an invisible partner? It's, there's a process to it. And so I utilize a system that I developed in 2002 based upon my life's work as a chiropractor, acupuncturist, naturopath, just doing different things in a specialty in kinesiology. I discovered a system called the LifeLine Technique. And it's literally a roadmap that enables us to follow 16 steps that enable us to not only connect with the subconscious mind, but activate it in a rapport, loving way that gets it to follow us like a good dog. The mind doesn't choose logically. It doesn't think, hey, I'm attached to this marriage. I'm attached to this job. I'm attached to this body. The subconscious mind's not attached to anything. It only reacts. And so because it only reacts, when we understand particular steps, and I'll talk about them, can train our mind to be a good mind, a good dog. But even if you've got a good dog, because we've got this beautiful Labrador retriever, he's so beautiful, but he's a dog. And when he sees a squirrel, no matter how well trained he is, he's a maniac. And he just loves squirrels. Right. He can't help it. It's not that he's bad, just his mind goes squirrel.
Right.
And so we've got all kinds of squirrel modes. And so even though like I'm the meditative guru, I do affirmations, I do mantras, I do all kinds of visualizations and things that allow my mind to be the best mind. I got the best mind in squirrel. And it could be the holidays. It could be, it could be an anniversary. It could be a song. It could be the smell of of a meal that you once had, and then boom, now I'm in freeze, fright, fight, or flight. So I just want to acknowledge that first, because there are people right now that are listening they've done everything. They know about it. And yet and I drink my water and I eat healthy, like the basic.
Mm-hmm.
You eat healthy, bring down inflammation, right? Get good sleep, use good posture, right? Say nice things to yourself, be kind to other people, like all these things, those are basic. That's called just being a human being, and we do our best with that, creating a habit and a practice for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yet at the same time, what does it mean to go, okay, I'm going to sit down right now, and I'm either going to take a 15-minute opportunity, or half a minute, a half an hour, or an hour, and I'm going to run a LifeLine session.
Mm.
I'm actually going to do a LifeLine session where I'm going to connect to my subconscious mind in the present moment. That's what's called the connection. It's the first step of the 16 steps, is establish present time consciousness. Are you plugged into the present moment, or are you unplugged?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Have you upgraded to the next greatest version of yourself, or are you still running on old programs? Is your instrument in tune, or is it sounding wonky? Right? Because you got to tune the instrument, you got to upgrade to the next greatest version. And the first step is about doing that. It's called the connection. And what it does is it establishes present time consciousness.
Excellent. I love it.
Second step is, once you get present, and there's a specific dance that goes on that is like acupuncture without needles. It's Qigong. It moves energy. It's understanding that there are real power centers that are in the energetic field that influences the neural network of our being. There are certain things that we can do to tap into the consciousness of our body, mind, spirit, Mother Earth, and the energy that is one. There's certain things that we do. It's easy peasy too. It's simple. It's fine. It only works if you do it. Doesn't work if you don't, like, oh, I know it works, but I didn't do it. Mm-hmm. Like today I woke up and, my heart was upset about something. And so I walked outside, I took a deep breath, and I got myself connected. And then I went through the steps of setting an intention so that I could be the driver of my subconscious mind, rather than being in the trunk and it being locked. And now I'm being dragged around for the rest of the day with these fear-based, overwhelming patterns in my mind that I know are going to affect my body and create these biological, maladaptive, chronic pain reactions. You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I love that. Be the driver of your subconscious as opposed to being in the trunk. That's good. I first off, before we go into the next step, I love how you're so loving about this, right? Like this is a very loving conversation and process, and I can totally see that and tell that from you and your work, and I just love it. I think it's right. You're bringing in humor and the dog and the squirrel and all these kinds of things, and I think that's so important. So I first of all just appreciate that. So thank you.
Thank you. Well, being human's not easy. It's not easy to be human at any point in history. Yet I really feel like at this point in history, it's the hardest thing to be, is to be a human being. And we're just driven by so many things that we need to do, and the list keeps getting bigger, and we have so many internal critics and judges and expectations and assumptions, and let alone our thoughts of other people and what we're thinking they're thinking and doing, and why they're all the different mysteries of life that it's imperative to be loving, and it's imperative to be gentle, and to take a moment and breathe, because pain's pain. And pain will do funny things to you in not so funny haha way. Right. It'll really wreck a good day and week and year. And so it's hard. There's just you gotta have compassion. Nobody chooses any level of chronic pain, even though it seems like, well, why do you still stay in that relationship? Why are you still eating that food? You know that this isn't good for you, and you know you don't want to do it, yet you still do it. And and that's the nature of the subconscious mind as well. It gets triggered, and not only does it create biological patterns of reaction that are painful, but it creates behavioral patterns of reaction. Both our biology and our behavior is a reflection of our mind. So in this sense, the concept of being loving is something that on one level, yeah, absolutely, it's about being loving, but loving means taking action.
Mm.
In the subconscious mind is the reactive mind. It doesn't take action, it reacts. It looks like an action, but it's a reaction. It's doing the same thing again and again. It's the program, it's the imprint, it's the condition. It's been entrained to be a particular way. And oftentimes we look at it and we go, well, life just freaking sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got a bad body because this injury, or my mom or my dad, my genetics, or, whatever it might be. And one of the things that I find to be crucial in being able to create a loving relationship with the subconscious mind so that we can get it to be on board with our best self, our highest vibration, our highest consciousness, is a singular philosophy that I call the portal philosophy. Mm-hmm. Life is most times looked at as a problem. If that person just would stop doing that, I could be happy. As soon as as soon as the kids are old enough, then I can do this. Or, right? Yeah. Once I get here, I can live happily ever after. And life doesn't work that way. There's no perfect time for anything, ever. Mm-hmm. And so when we look at life as a portal, that means there are no problems. And I'm not naive, because that sounds like, man, you are on some batshit stuff right now, Dr. D. Like, no, there's pain in life, a lot of it. There's fear. There's a lot of it. There's stress, more than enough for everyone, right? But the pain, fear, and stress, rather than being your fight, I got to fight it. I got to fix it. I got to figure it out. I got to judge myself as a failure. I'm this because of that. That lens means life is happening to us, and it's a victimized lens. But the active lens versus the reactive, and it says, I'm going to choose love in the face of fear. I'm going to look at life as happening for me. And even though I don't understand what's below the tip of this iceberg, mm-hmm. even though I can't see the buried treasure in cancer, in autoimmune disease, in anaphylactic allergies, in a blown out intercruciate ligament, whatever it might be, even though I can't see, like, oh, here's the gift in it, because you can't see it right there. You can see it down the line. Hindsight's 2020. Welcome to the year 2020. Mm-hmm. Hindsight's 2020, right? Yeah, now I'm so grateful I went through that. While you're in it, we're not so grateful. This freaking sucks.
Right.
Right. So, but when we can go, as soon, the key is, and this is so much easier said than done, but I'm telling you, it is the key. The key is, because here's the first step. I'm being triggered. I'm in a reactive state. How do I know? I'm in pain. Period. Physically, emotionally, spiritually. Mm-hmm. He triggers me. She does this, and I feel this way. My body is experiencing this. As soon as I catch myself, because I don't catch myself oftentimes right away. Sometimes it takes an hour, a day, a week, a month. And like, oh my God, I've been going down this pathway and I didn't even know I was being driven by this reactive part. As soon as I catch myself, I go, oh, here's a gift in strange wrapping paper. This is the portal. This is my portal. This is the doorway to the next greatest version of me. I hate it, but this is the portal. It's scaring me, but this is the portal. I'm overwhelmed and I don't know what to do, but this is the portal. Now, most people don't do that first, and they immediately go into, I'm going to fight it right now. And you're not going to beat the subconscious mind in a fight. Most people go into fix-it mode. We're smart. Human beings are so flippin' smart. You are not going to figure it out. You might, but it might take another lifetime for you to truly understand the spiritual journey and the path of like real pain. I'm not talking about a hangnail, but I'm talking about being human on planet Earth and being in your body and being the son or daughter of your mom and dad and your family and the circumstances that you lived in to truly find meaning, real meaning in the pain. There's a way. It starts with going, life is a portal, not a problem. It's happening for me, not to me. I have an opportunity to get into present time consciousness. Once I get myself connected through the connection, the spirit, mind, body, earth, oneness, now I begin to observe my body just like I'm taking inventory. That's it. I'm doing my best, because easier said than done. I'm doing my best rather than getting caught in the story, because we all have a story. Everyone's healing from something, right? Yep. What are you healing from, right? That could be a whole other conversation we have, right? It'd be a great conversation. We observe. Like, oh, I have chronic right shoulder pain. It's a 7 out of 10. I get heartburn when I eat this food. Right now it's a 0, but when it gets triggered, it's 7. I've got this psoriasis. My skin, it's horrible. My God, it's all over. It's an 8.5. We just take inventory. We write it down. Just like right now, like we're connecting, and like I love it because I'm looking into your eyes and I can feel you feeling me. And as a human being, we love a connection. So your subconscious mind isn't different than that. So when we take time to go, yeah, I'm in pain here. This is not functioning properly. Rather than getting caught in it as the end all be all, this is just one step of 4 for setting an intention. There's a process. There's a how to get connected, observe. When you do this, I become insecure. When you don't do that, I become frustrated. When this happens and I feel out of control, panic goes into place. I feel terror. I feel it all throughout my body. It's like, how aware are we of our body? Most people run from that. I'm just going to get back on Facebook, right? We just don't want to feel our feelings. But if you want to heal, you got to feel. So part of this is truly just genuinely making a connection with where we are, with honest observation. And then once we're present, we've observed, we know where the pain, the portal is. As human beings, you know what we do? We judge the shit out of ourselves.
Right.
We go, oh, I'm such a loser. I'm so broken. I'm so bad. I'm so ugly. I'm so this, I'm so that. Our inner critic is such an ass and is so mean. And so right when we're honest, we're like, okay, Dr. D, I just got present. I observed these symptoms and stressors, and now I feel disgusting. Now I feel horrible. Look at how messed up I am. We automatically go into judgment. And judgment will do nothing to move us forward. It'll keep us stuck in the past of guilt and shame, regrets and blame, or it'll get us caught into the future of the worst catastrophic outcomes, right? Woulda, coulda, shouldas. And so we shift all judgment through a question in the Lifeline. I want to teach this. This is so important. We call it the truth question. It's the $1 million question. The $1 million question is, hey, Andy, let's just run it by you. If you could choose to create your life a day or a moment, if you could design your best life, would you choose to create it where your body was in chronic pain, where your immune system was confused, where you had inflammation in your body, where your inflammatory markers were skyrocketing? Would you choose to create it where you had such digestive challenges, really poor sleep, headaches, skin challenges? Would you choose to create it where you had this chronic drive of anxiety and worry and and need to be perfect and walking on eggshells and afraid to speak your truth? Would you choose any, let alone all of these? What's the answer?
No.
The answer is hell no.
Hell no.
Hell no, right? And it's really stupid question, but it's really smart when it comes to creating relationship with the subconscious mind. It's really smart because of course not. No one chooses it. No one wakes up and says it's a great day for cancer. It's a great day for bone pain. It's a great day for digestive challenges. It's a great day to break a bone. It's a great day, for anger, rage, frustration, overwhelm. Nobody chooses that, but we all experience it. I'll raise my hand first, right? We all do. And now it's education time. What's not a choice or an action, and this isn't, hell no, is a reaction. What does that mean? Yes, we made contact with the subconscious mind. And what we did by observing the symptoms and stressors is we created an outward definition of the shape of our subconscious mind. We can see it in our body. We can see it in our behavior. We can start to understand just the tip of the iceberg. And we know that most of the iceberg, 90 to 98%, just like the subconscious mind, is below the surface. But we made an outline of it through observing. Now we want to get to the fullest potential. Well, now once we've gone from judgment to discernment, from head to heart, simply by saying, hell no, I don't choose this, right? I'm talking to my subconscious mind. I'm creating a relationship with my subconscious mind. In the LifeLine certification program that I've been teaching since 2002, so it's a whole process that teaches people the multiple dimensions of the subconscious mind and how the ancient arts and modern day ways of understanding our mind and its influence on everything. I teach people how to do sessions with themselves. The most important mastery is self-mastery. A lot of people go, well, I want to learn the LifeLine because I want to help all these people. And I'm like, great, but whoa, Nelly, we can't help anyone unless we start helping ourselves. And to help people with the LifeLine, you've got to understand your own subconscious mind. How well do you understand it? How well do you understand it? Right? Not right, wrong, good, or bad, but how well do you truly understand it? How well are you able to access it, guide it, lead it, and support it? Then once somebody goes through the process of learning this for themselves, well, now we're ready to hold a space. If it resonates with you, to use it with other people, to use it with couples, to use it with families, to use it with companies, to use it with groups and communities at a time. The nature of the subconscious mind, once we start to understand its fullest potential and that we can harness it, we can truly harness it to design and manifest and create. Whoa, it's freaking exciting stuff, my friends. It really is. Most people come in to see me, they start to work with me one-on-one sessions or different things like that, studying. And they're like, well, like I just made this post like the other day and just connecting with how I know certain people throughout life, and people were giving feedback. And, one of the gentlemen said, we've met 5.5 years ago when I had stage 4 cancer,
Wow.
That's how I met you. It's like, and so that really moves me. And it's like most people come in because we're in pain, real pain. But what we end up finding is that just got you here. Why you're here is because inside of you, there's something extraordinary. Inside of you, there is greatness, there's confidence, there's capabilities that we are not even able to give ourselves credit for. We can't even acknowledge the concept that this even exists in me because I identify and define myself based upon my perception. And what I'm perceiving is that I'm messed up and that I'm sick and I'm broken and I'm ... But we perceive based upon what we believe, and our beliefs are programmed. From conception to 7, but even before that, past lives, generational patterns, cultural core limiting beliefs. There's so many dynamics that go oftentimes beyond what we're capable of understanding. I gave a very simple example of a blue balloon. It's way more dynamic than that, so, but once we start learning, oh, I can get present. Yeah, sure. It's easy. I can be present. I can observe as a portal. I can do that. That's not rocket science. I can ask myself what I choose is and say, hell freaking no. I can discern. I can get into my heart. And now I can go for my heart and I go, well, what would it mean to live an intentional life right now? You know, as powerful as the mind is, and it is badass. It's absolutely badass. Our minds are so outrageous, so incredible what human minds are capable of in the best and the worst. Right? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
What's more badass is this.
Mm-hmm.
It's the heart. And now when we learn a relationship with the heart and how to reclaim the power of the heart and focus on where we're going rather than what we want to avoid or get away from, because that's what reaction does. Fear does. Fear says, make it go away, pretend it's not there. Please stop it. That's what fear does. Love says, you know what? Yeah, this sucks. For sure. It does. Hell no, I'm not choosing it. But I'm the common denominator. I'm the linchpin. I'm the one person who is the bridge to everything and everyone in my life where I'm struggling and I'm overwhelmed and I'm in pain. And if I'm going to create a change, I'm going to take responsibility, and that means my ability to respond in the face of reaction, my ability to choose love in the face of fear. And this is a process, and there's steps. So one thing is just to understand there's concepts, and then in the concepts, there's how-tos, and there's just a unique, actually common sense approach. I find it funny in teaching the Lifeline. It's like people are just remembering who they are. We're just so deep, neck deep into the swamp of these patterns. But we go, whoa, all right, heart. What do you desire to feel? I'm saying it real simply, but this is the reality of it. What do you desire to feel? I know you wouldn't choose to feel fear, anger, overwhelmed, sad, broken, so much pain. Take responsibility. Let yourself feel it. There's medicine in this. This is such a sacred moment if we really can feel it and then go, all right, I'm with Andy right now, and I'm with my friends who are really just eager to create real change in their lives. And now I'm going into my own life, my own pain, fear, and stress. And what is it, Dee? What is it, Darren, that you desire to feel right now? And my heart just spoke.
Mm-hmm.
It just spoke. And it makes me emotional. It makes me tingly all over, right? And my heart just said, in love with life. That's what it just did. It just, in love with life. And I've got tingles throughout my whole body. And now I know, oh, this is what this is all about. And then what's the second golden rule? Where I'm going, in love with life, as if I'm already there. Because the mind's going to follow. Let's lead it to the summit. Let's lead it to the peak potential. Let's lead it to our highest self. So if I was already there living a life of in love with life, then I could say, I am in love with life, right? So we've heard I am is important. We've heard getting into the heart is important. We heard getting present is important and observing is important, right? We've heard all these things, but there's a process where one leads into the next. That when we do, the heart, it's like a flower. It just opens. And the change is natural. You don't have to force healing. Healing is a natural byproduct of raising consciousness. And this is a very tough conversation right here, because then we go, well, I guess I'm not conscious if I'm in pain. There's no judgment with it. It's the portal, not the problem. As long as I'm looking at it as a problem, it's problem. Mm-hmm. Our brain and body don't know the difference between memory, reality, or imagination. If I'm imagining this is my problem, then it's my problem. And then it lives in it. Well, how do I make the change? It sounds so cool. I want to do this. You actually got to use the system. There's a process. And once I am in love with life. Oh, yeah. Sounds good. My bullshit meter goes, you're not. You're angry, frustrated, afraid, overwhelmed. You got this horrible digestive immune, ... And the mind starts rationalizing things. I get it. That's what's going on. We just observed it. So the next phase in raising consciousness is imagination.
Mm.
And I literally say to myself, hey, D, are you open, ready, and willing to use your I am in love of life imagination? Are you? And when I'm doing a session with myself, I say it out loud. Yes, I am. Because I need my subconscious mind to know that as scared as I am courageously jumping into the driver's seat. I found a hole through the back seat, climb on in. I'm getting into the driver's seat. I'm driving this vehicle. In fact, forget about it. I'm getting out of this vehicle. This is the wrong car. I'm getting into my vehicle. I'm driving my vehicle. I've been driving someone else's car. This is my great grandmother's 4 generations down, right? And that's influencing me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's wild. It's wild, isn't it?
It's so wild. Oh my God, this is amazing. You're just awesome and totally exuding love and so much inspiration and hope and all of that for people. So I really appreciate it. And I have no idea where you're at in your 16 steps because we've just been, so in the moment. Do you have more to share around that before we talk about your gift and everything?
Yeah, I will. I could talk for a year straight. So the reality is that, where we are is just having a conversation just so that we can begin.
Mm-hmm.
The important thing is, and oftentimes it's a trap, is that we think we need to understand something completely for it to work for us.
Right.
And that's just not true. It's just not true. You don't have to understand it. Healing chronic pain is not a logical process. It's an emotional process.
Mm-hmm.
And so our ability to process our emotions and to create a conscious relationship with this reactive part of ourself and go through the different levels of it. And there's different levels of it: quantum levels, subtle, nature levels, acute, how it shows up in unique ways where it's influencing my lymphatics, it's influencing my bones, my body's expressing itself with unique things. I have particular behaviors where, in the Lifeline, I'll show you, it's really wild. It's called an expression channel. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the expression channel is when we actually start to really, we're aware that we're in pain. We're aware that we're in pain. We've been doing our best to not pay attention to it, but we're really aware. And so there's an emotional expression channel, which is reactive behavior. There's structural expression channel, which is the body expressing itself from a subconscious perspective. And then there's biochemical expression channel, our ability to feel, feed, or drain, let go. That has to do with addiction, right? Yeah. And so, within here, there's particular behaviors that are based upon thought viral programs, emotional cancer, personal invasion, shock, being in a death mode. We don't even realize these unique patterns start in the mind and then show up in other areas of our life. And, ultimately, when we can create a change, and we can, on a mind level, then our body, our relationships, and our future begins to open up, unfold. And it's quite an adventure. Marianne Williamson, what an amazing woman she is, right?
Yes.
She said it the best in A Return to Love. Our greatest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our greatest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. And, this process, when we bridge the gap between the conscious and subconscious and we become this super conscious field, and you don't get there and live happily ever after where bluebirds sing. This is a daily practice. You wake up and you have a daily practice of creating a relationship with your mind so that it becomes a love affair with your subconscious mind, a best friend. Meanwhile, this part of you is the fullest reactive nature. This is beyond nuclear power. The subconscious mind is beyond nuclear reaction. It is so profound in its impact in every way. But when we can create an absolutely divine, loving relationship with this part, that is called living a miraculous life.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Such great, amazing stuff. I just so appreciate your passion for this topic, and I know that people watching right now are getting so much out of this, and it's just beautiful. So I appreciate everything. So how can people learn more about how to work with you? I know you have a gift for everyone. You have an offer they can take advantage of. Could you share about those two things?
Yeah, for sure. It's one thing to talk about it, it's another thing to experience it. And experience is really what makes the difference. So, one of my visions once I woke up to the Lifeline process is world peace to inner peace, one person at a time. Once I knew that I could bring somebody through the Rwandan genocide, that I could bring someone through, massive bushfires here in Australia where, entire towns are wiped out and people are killed, and that I could go on in and use Lifeline to help people process even the most brutal of experiences. I knew that anyone could. I knew that if I could use it for my own self and my own uh, massive pains and patterns of insecurity, that I knew that anyone could as well. And so the gift that I'm offering is what's called the Lifeline Healing Circle. And the Lifeline Healing Circle is about an hour Lifeline process where you will be guided through all 16 steps of the Lifeline. You don't need to understand it. Once again, just participate in it. I'll guide you on what to do. It's something that you can watch over and over again, and you'll get more out of it every time that you do. But it'll be a full-on Lifeline experience. It'll be amazing. It'll be amazing. That one's pre-recorded. The other opportunity that we're offering is a year of healing circles, and usually we charge $18 per session, and for a year it's $3 per session, so it's much less than a Starbucks coffee. And yeah, and it enables, it will enable you to have something like you go to do yoga and you go to a Pilates class. This will be a practice, a weekly Lifeline session where you are guided into and through the year of evolving your consciousness and creating profound change. And so we're offering a massive discount on that to make it affordable for anyone and everyone, because that in of itself, if somebody actually decides to commit for a year of loving themselves and being guided and creating, learning how to create this relationship with themselves, massive changes can occur. Massive changes. So yeah, those are the two programs.
Excellent. And everyone, there are 2 buttons below this video that you can click through on to get that free gift as well as that program. Thank you so much. You are such a delight. It's been so great to connect with you, and I just appreciate you so much. Are there any last insights, anything else you want to leave people with before we wrap up?
I just want to acknowledge you. I want to acknowledge you and say, there's a lot of people that talk and say like, hey, I want to make a difference in the world. I'd like to do something that is authentic and, from my heart and soul. And I find that very few people actually do it. And, it's really inspiring, Andy, to meet you for the first time and connect with you and feel your beautiful, loving heart, and to be a part of this vision of helping people that are in chronic pain, because so many people are suffering. And you, my friend, feel the love coming towards you, are making a huge difference in the world. And I am so appreciative to be a part of your awesome passion and purpose.
Thank you, Darren. I appreciate that. And
My pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you everyone who's watching, who's listening right now, for loving yourself, for showing up for yourself on this healing journey. And we will see you again really soon. Thanks. Take care, everybody.